really interesting use of space in this first part here. You can collect some weapons and stuff in this odd open shape, and then you're winding through this little corridor, which dumps you right back in the same room you started in, but with monster closets opening and a fairly intense fight happening. I used a couple of shotgun blasts there just because then you have exactly enough to be at 50 after picking up the SSG and whatever. So there's an arch file in this encounter, and the cover here is very, very bad. You can either duck back into the corridor or try to keep yourself covered just by getting other monsters to hit him, which is kind of a risky technique. I would be a lot happier doing it at the start of a map than at the end. It didn't work very well that time, but usually I don't take any archvile blasts at this part. And even if you do, there's a berserk pack around here, so it's whatever. You can afford it. I don't like using the corridors for cover. You can get trapped, and it's kind of a hassle. Some straightforward room clearing after this. This next little while isn't the most interesting part of the map. This map overall is it's kind of inconsistent. It's got some really cool and interesting encounters, and it's got some filler too, to be honest. Like this all is very interesting. Pretty handy secret, the backpack. The next major goal is to get that yellow key. You can get the one skeleton and the Mancubus mad at each other pretty easily. The other ones not so much. There's just not quite as good of a perspective to get any of the other ones to hit him. I think that one skeleton is on a slightly higher level as well than the others. So I just killed the rest myself. You can just go and dive in there without bothering to kill these guys, but it's kind of dangerous. Like, if you want to maximize your chances of winning, you know. And I'm not grabbing that blue armor just yet, just because it's going to have to last. There's health around here, and I won't really be back here again, so it's like, you know, this is a good place to be taking health rather than armor damage. So this teleport encounter, it's pretty nasty if the guys on top of the bluff are still alive. Otherwise, you just make sure you don't run out of space. You're fine. You can't just run out, because this space is complex enough that the enemies won't be able to. You can kind of see behind the waterfall there in the distance, the red key. That's the site of one of the most interesting fights in the map. Anyway, you know, the enemies there, they never find their way out if you just run away. I tried to start infighting, it worked really bad. Like, how much ammo does that save? Maybe one shotgun blast to kill a couple of imps. Look, this motherfucker still takes like 4 hits. Unbelievable. Just going back to grab a little health and ammo in the earlier parts of the map before I head out to the courtyard. This is another part of the map that I'm less than enamored of, really. It's not bad, it just feels a little uninspired. You know, straightforward. Kind of sucks that I hit that, but whatever. This encounter's like, I don't know. You just run away from it, and it's just Hell Knights. And you're expecting something to happen, so it's not like, you know, as soon as you hit the switch, you were planning to immediately turn around and exit the wing immediately. So something had to happen. I don't really know why I thought it would be any different than that. Which wasn't that interesting. I don't know. The Mancubus almost always wins in this situation. And then I almost forgot to grab the switch to that little secret ledge there. So this next part is actually pretty tricky. As you're making your way through the canyon, it suddenly spawns 4 pain elementals right behind you. You've really got a choice at this point. You can either do what I'm doing and try to quick kill them with the rocket launcher ASAP, since that's the only thing with the damage output to do it. Obviously it's dangerous because you're liable to you know, kill yourself out of the lost soul. Or you can just use the rocket launcher to quick kill this guy and run directly out of the room after picking up the key. The big doors back to the starting area are not openable by monsters. So if you just run right out of here and exit instantly, you just don't come back. And it's the simplest and easiest way to do things. Is just ignore this entire encounter and fuck off. I don't, for whatever reason. Hey, no, let's kill all these guys. If you want to kill them, this is a pretty good way to do it. Otherwise, you're almost any other way, you're just dreadfully exposed, and it's very difficult. In a situation like this, you can dodge the projectiles with 100% consistency in this space, although I don't, because I'm very bad at video games. I mean, you know, I still have like almost 200. It's I could afford it. You know, afford not to be a chicken. So the map gets better from here on in. I really like all the other encounters. This is a nice little thing. The imp's putting a little pressure on me, making this not a completely straightforward archvile. I like imp and archvile encounters. It's a good synergy. Like, it's a lot of pressure, but you completely have the tools. Grabbing these shells, whatever. So this next bit, the fight for the red key, is quite interesting. In that, in the middle there, where the waterfall is, a spider mastermind gets warped in, and from those caves on both sides, a gigantic horde of imps is released. So you want to ASAP start infighting between the imps and the spider mastermind. You don't want her to be shooting at you, one way or another. And then it's just a matter, because the imps are guaranteed to kill her, it's just a matter of not running out of space, because there are a lot of imps in this room. I like big mob of imps encounters, to be honest. Like, Big mobs of Revenants or Hell Knights can be kind of annoying because if you're not running away, you're probably BFG blasting through them, and I don't really think big BFG blasting clusterfucks is all that much fun generally. Some people disagree. See, look how fast you went down. But I mean, imps is fun. You tear through them like a hot knife through butter with the rocket launcher, and it's just satisfying. Plus, it still has all the dynamism of shaping the crowd, making sure you have an escape route, maintaining enough space to use the rocket launcher. I really like this fight. I think it's the highlight of the map. Then cleaning up these guys is kind of tedious. There's a lot of them. They deliver a lot of firepower, so you got to be careful. There's not much actual danger here. If you get hit doing this, it's your fault. It means you're bad. So the next part is quite hard. It's going to release 2 Archviles and a bunch of Pain Elementals. I quick kill the Archviles with the rocket launcher and then just leave. It is not worth it trying to deal with that many Pain Elementals in a space like this. Mistimed that sucks. It was because there were 2 of them that threw me off. This switch opens the exit and I got stuck on flyers. That's why I hate Pain Elementals. So, when you enter the next area, if you're escaping like this, you want to quickly go around the corner and cross that metal threshold, which is what shuts the door behind you, and it cannot be opened again, either by you or the enemies, so you're safe from pursuit. I like this little room. There's some cool, a couple of cool encounters here. Firstly, you get this monster club, and as you can see, it's pretty layered with different things. There's specters in there too that you have to keep an eye out for if you're trying to use the rocket launcher. And at this point, it's like, okay, 2 bruised revenants, I can be greedy, just switch to the shotgun. This is harder if you wasted more of your resources trying to kill Pain Elementals in the last room. So then this next switch will drop in an Archvile behind you and another one kind of on the other side of that pillar in the room, the main part of the room. Depending on how this goes, this can be pretty bad. But in this case, he didn't make up any revenants, which was nice. Oh, and this is why you want to stay in there until you've got the situation under control, because there's a bunch of chain gunners that, yeah. So this here is the final encounter. It's kind of a straightforward Cyber Demon shootout. Things that make it trickier are, number one, just that this cannon is kind of awkwardly laid out and very cramped, so you got to watch out for splash damage. And the even worse thing is that a couple of Pain Elementals get released behind you and are slowly drifting down. So that can, you can run out of space basically, get caught on that shit. It can feel really unfair and stupid. I don't know, I think it's kind of a mean-spirited fun alley. I'm trying to kill these Pain Elementals just because I hate them so much, but it doesn't work, so I just end up giving up and teleporting out. It is what it is. Pain Elementals, they're such a pain, you want to kill them all, but then killing them is a pain, so you got an exit teleporter right there. A good map, though, overall. I mean, it had some weak parts. It had some good parts, though.